Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cool and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, Lore and Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. So, last year, I talked a lot about how Multiversus was one of the most overrated, overhyped, most worthless, downloadable games on, the Steam shop. I don't even know where it was. It was, one of those weird situations where, YouTubers were really seriously trying to push this idea that, this game could replace Smash Bros, which was, of course, to any serious fan of fighting games or Smash, was a complete laughable notion, right? Multiversus was never going to take off, but there was a very, much like Nickelodeon All-Stars, there was a very big push to try and pretend it was competitively viable, that it had the same amount of content as Smash, that it was as polished as Smash, that it had better network speed than Smash, that it had better characters than Smash, that it was funnier than Smash, that it, had business, it was a serious actual competitor to Super Smash Bros. And much like Horizon Zero Dawn versus Breath of the Wild, it just completely flopped on its face. People gave it awards. Angry Joe called it, one of the best games of the year. It was there was a real agenda to try and make this game a thing, right? And not once did I hear any of these people acknowledge that the game was in beta, right? That's not something I ever heard brought up. That's not something I heard talked about. That wasn't something that I heard discussed. But recently, Multiversus has been straight up pulled from the servers from every storefront imaginable because the developers have ended the beta period and it's time to work on the final release. Okay. Are you serious? They had a year-long beta period, and they're only just now removing it in order to work on the final game. Are you serious? I don't think this was true. I legit do not believe it was in beta. I think they legit took it down because the views, because the player base tanked so much because of the lack of competition and the lack of fun that they decided to pull it and then re-release it with a handful of new characters in order to rekindle that audience. It was disgusting, honestly. I don't respect anyone involved with this. Not the creators, not the publisher, not the YouTubers shilling this. I don't understand why this game was allowed to be promoted so hard among demographics, especially assuming this is true, that it was in beta the entire time. Why exactly were YouTubers just seriously pushing this as a top 10 game of the year contender, a viable Smash competitor when it was in beta all along, supposedly. And it's just one of those things, right? It's just one of those things that I've been telling people for a long time now, is that it really does feel as if the vast majority of games that are being paid, that are being talked about these days, especially if they're mobile or PC related, are astroturfed and not at all popular. We saw this with Hi-Fi Rush. We saw this with Genshin Impact. We saw this with this, right? With Multiversus. There's no way these games are as popular as the amount of people talking about it should suggest. But we're seriously supposed to consider these viable competitors in against Smash? We're supposed to believe that Multiverse's character model, update model of releasing a new character every couple of months is viable. We're supposed to believe that the game is satisfactory in any way, shape, or form. We're supposed to believe that. No, it's just none of it ever made any sense right from the get-go. And especially considering the same people shilling the game are back making Smash tier lists or whatever with not mentioning Multiversus at all. It's clear to me that yeah, it was fake. It was AstroTurf. The company was paying YouTubers to promote this shitty game, right? And I don't see enough people calling them out on it. I don't know how common it is for people to talk about products like Raid Shadow Legends or Multiverses or this Genshin Impact, this stuff that clearly has no audience, but somehow gets promoted by YouTubers simply because the developers are able to throw money at them. All right, these guys will do anything for $1. If you throw $7 out of into Angry Joe's wallet, he'll sing and dance for you. He'll talk about your game. He won't play it, but he'll talk about your game. it's like, wow, how low can these people go? Like, really? And how long until more people start like acknowledging that, like, yeah, this is a real problem. There is a real disconnect between players of games and the YouTubers who cover them. Like, I genuinely don't believe that the vast majority of YouTubers actually play games, you know? Like, Angry Joe is a really blatant example, but I think it's like true for most people, honestly. Like, I don't think it's that unusual for like YouTubers to spend more time like gaming the algorithm or like manipulating their viewer counts than actually talking about games, you know? Like, I don't think it's that unusual at all. Like, is anyone talking about it? Is anyone like bringing it up as an issue? Like, I don't think so. And I think it's very, very common for terrible video games to weaponize YouTubers in order to talk about like bad products. Multiversus would never have been brought up at all. It would never have been popular at all if it wasn't for so many high-profile people trying to shove this nonsense onto us.